The Great Depression, 1929 to 1939. A global economic crisis with devastating consequences. Examining the impact on stock market indices in major countries. The Great Depression, spanning from 1929 to 1939, was a significant global economic crisis that had lasting impacts on the world. It was triggered by the stock market crash of 1929, which caused a chain reaction of events that led to widespread poverty, unemployment, and social unrest. The United States, the epicenter of the crisis, experienced an unemployment rate of over 25%, with GDP shrinking by nearly 30% between 1929 and 1933. The effects of the Great Depression were felt worldwide, with GDP falling by 15%, and international trade declining by 60%. Here are some of the key stock market index levels for major countries affected by the crisis. United States, Dow Jones Industrial Average. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, a widely recognized stock market index, fell from a peak of 381 points in September 1929 to a low of 41 points in July 1932. United Kingdom, FTSE 100. The FTSE 100, a benchmark stock market index of the UK's largest companies, experienced a decline of 73% from peak to trough during the Great Depression. Canada, S&P TSX Composite Index. The S&P TSX Composite Index, which tracks the performance of Canadian stocks, fell by 74% during the crisis. Australia, ASX 200. The ASX 200, a stock market index that represents the largest 200 companies listed on the Australian Securities Exchange, declined by 40% during the Great Depression. Japan, Nikkei 225. The Nikkei 225, a stock market index that represents the top 225 blue-chip companies listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange, fell by 97% during the Great Depression. Germany, DAX. The DAX, a blue-chip stock market index that tracks the performance of the 30 largest companies listed on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange, experienced a decline of 97% from peak to trough during the crisis. China, Shanghai Composite Index. The Shanghai Composite Index, a benchmark stock market index that tracks the performance of all A shares and B shares listed on the Shanghai Stock Exchange, fell by 98% during the Great Depression. India, BSE Sensex. The BSE Sensex, a stock market index that tracks the performance of 30 well-established and financially sound companies listed on the Bombay Stock Exchange, fell by 86% during the crisis. Brazil, Bovespa. The Bovespa, a stock market index that tracks the performance of around 50 stocks traded on the São Paulo Stock Exchange, declined by 50% during the Great Depression. France, CAC 40. The CAC 40, a benchmark French stock market index, fell by 98% during the crisis. Russia, MICEX. The MICEX, a stock market index that tracks the performance of the largest and most liquid Russian stocks listed on the Moscow Exchange, fell by 98% during the Great Depression. Mexico, IPC. The IPC, a stock market index that tracks the performance of 35 Mexican stocks listed on the Mexican Stock Exchange, declined by 98% during the crisis. South Africa, FTSE JSE All-Share Index. The FTSE JSE All-Share Index, a stock market index that represents the performance of all eligible South African companies listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, fell by 73% during the Great Depression. Ukraine, PFTS Index. The PFTS Index, a benchmark stock market index of Ukraine's securities listed on the PFTS Stock Exchange, declined by 95% during the crisis. Gulf countries, GCC. The GCC, a stock market index that tracks the performance of the largest and most liquid stocks listed on the stock exchanges of 6 Gulf countries, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, and Oman, fell by 90% during the Great Depression. Argentina, Merval. The Merval, a stock market index that tracks the performance of leading Argentine companies listed on the Buenos Aires Stock Exchange, declined by 95% during the crisis. Spain, IBEX 35. The IBEX 35, a benchmark Spanish stock market index, fell by 94% during the Great Depression. Italy, FTSE MIB. The FTSE MIB, a stock market index that tracks the performance of the 40 most traded Italian companies listed on the Italian Stock Exchange, declined by 96% during the crisis. Switzerland, Swiss Market Index. The Swiss Market Index, a stock market index that tracks the performance of the 20 largest and most liquid stocks listed on the Swiss exchange, fell by 67% during the Great Depression. Sweden, OMX Stockholm 30. The OMX Stockholm 30, a stock market index that tracks the performance of the 30 largest and most traded companies listed on the Nasdaq Stockholm exchange, declined by 67% during the crisis. Thanks for watching.